In order to promote cultural value and rights of the original inhabitants of the FCT, Resource Center for Human Rights and Civic Education held a one-day African Regional Conference to commemorate the United Nations International Day of World Indigenous People. Dr. Ibrahim Zakirullah, while giving his welcome remarks, said the original inhabitants have endured a lot since their ancestral land were used to make way for Nigeria's new capital after it was moved from Lagos to Abuja, and only a few Nigerians are aware of their struggles.
Despite FCT original inhabitants' unwavering commitment to upholding peaceful, lawful, and non-violent means of seeking justice, Nigerian authorities have consistently frustrated and undermined these efforts. It has gotten so bad that even judicial verdicts issued by competent courts have been simply ignored by successive governments. Without preempting our learned resource persons' perspectives, let me state that this regional conference provides an opportunity to reflect on similar experiences from other parts of the continent. In the face of the many adversities that FCT OIs have faced, we believe that the least we can do as a cohort is to inform the rest of the world that it is unfair and unjust that a people who made enormous sacrifices to provide Nigeria with its acclaimed center of unity should no longer be treated as second-class citizens in the land where they trace their origins. To ensure that this message is heard, we need as many voices of reason and courage as we can find across our country, continent, and globe.
Dayo Olaide, who represented the Director, Africa Office, MacArthur Foundation, said so much injustice is found in this country, and attention needs to be drawn to the social injustice faced by the original inhabitants of Abuja.
For me, these are important pointers to the challenges facing us in spite of all that we have invested or appropriated over the last 22 years. And in the same way, we can also look at the responsibilities of the states and the local government and ask fundamental questions. Fundamental questions such as, how has local government revenue been managed? Today, we are all aware of the fact that a lot of state governors basically just corner the money that is meant for local government. And the struggle for local government autonomy has made political resistance. So in terms of what we have invested into the system and the direct impact on the Nigerian citizens is very slim to point out. It's difficult to be able to see. And therefore, by extension, the social injustices that we are seeing is a direct result of the social malaise that is ailing us as a people. Whether you look at conflict in the northeast, conflict in the northwest, conflict across the country, until and unless we begin to make democracy work for Nigerian people, I think we are going to keep struggling. So we have an opportunity this morning to draw attention to the plight of a small population who have for decades suffered these injustices.
The Esu of Kwali, His Royal Highness Dr. Shebam Audu Nzazu III, expresses his dissatisfaction towards the marginalization of the FCT original inhabitants to the extent they do not enjoy certain privilege.
The land FCT was created, and when it was created, there were people here. Of course, we have about 9 different ethnic groups here in the FCT. And we thought as a people that we have been marginalized to a certain extent. Marginalized in the sense that there are certain rights that are due to us who have not been given. We mention particularly politically when others are electing their governors, we are not doing anything, and we are just there. And therefore, it looks as if we are not full Nigerians. If other Nigerians are electing their governors and their House of Representatives members, we are not doing anything. Therefore, if we continue in this direction, it therefore means that the FCT indigents are not Nigerians.
He further appealed to the relevant authority and stakeholders to give them the opportunity to elect their governor in the FCT.
We're making an appeal to whichever authorities that may be, that we should be given the opportunity to also elect our governor, no matter who is called, whether the mayor, whatever it is, the opportunity to also participate in election at the second tier is very important. Again, we have realized also that people think, go by saying that adequate compensation has been given to us, the indigents. No, that is not true. We need to look into the compensation issue of the indigenous people in the FCT and see if it is true that this compensation has been adequately been provided. And therefore, it is important that there must be a true, peace for this FCT for any development to take place.
Dr. Quinta Onyagu said their role is to lend their voices to the FCT original inhabitants in terms of building resilience to social injustice when it comes to indigenous people.
My role here is just to give a voice in terms of talking about building resilience and actually fostering social justice when it comes to indigenous people. With proper engagement with the indigenous community, giving them space and voices to talk about their issues and actually implementing projects or plan on how to compensate the ill that has been done to their society and actually championing their needs. So I think those are some few ways that we can try to foster resilience and actually build collaboration with them.
Dorcas Olariwaju, Voicetv, Nigeria.